my loves, welcome back or welcome to a brand new video. I hope you guys are all okay, but as you guys can tell by the title, today I will be doing another reading vlog. Since I did my mood reading vlog, I've just wanted to do vlogs all the time. So in this video I will be reading some books that were voted upon on Instagram. So what I did is I did 3 stories with 2 books per story, and I just asked my followers, what book do you want me to read? And with this one I actually showed them the covers so they could actually see what the books were about, maybe search them. I don't know what my followers did, all I know is that they voted, I got a score, and then whatever book won is the book that I'll be reading this week. So we have 3 books. I thought I would keep it simple because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. I think 3 books is a perfect amount and they're not too thick. So we're going to go through each of the polls first. So I have each different one on here. So the first poll I did was between The Ballad of Never After and Ignite Me, and the one that won was The Ballad of Never After. So this was going to be one of the books we're going to be reading this week. And then my second poll was between 2 Emily Henry books. One was Book Lover and one was Beach Read, and Book Lovers was the one that won that poll, so we'll be reading that as well. And then last but not least, it was between The 7 Year Slip and Better Than the Movies, and Better Than the Movies won, so that will be our final book. But I'm really excited to read all these books. I've been wanting to read this book since I got it. I absolutely adored Love Wager by Lynn Painter, so I wanted to definitely tackle Better Than the Movies. I saw it in the shop, so I had to get it, so I'm really excited to read that one. Of course, I'm excited to read The Ballad of Never After. I read the first book, which was Once Upon a Broken Heart. I adored it so much. It was just so fairy tale like and it felt so magical. I'm really excited to delve back into the universe and continue the story of Evangeline and Jack, so I'm really excited for that. And then obviously Book Lovers, I was actually supposed to start this video when I was on holiday, so it's supposed to be like a holiday kind of vibe, but I didn't end up filming. I completely forgot because I was so enjoying my holiday basically, and I was vlogging that. I love Emily Henry and I adored reading Happy Place, so I want to get back into her writing again. Also, this is getting me ready for the summertime, it's getting me into the summer refills, so I'm really excited to read that. So these will be the 3 books we will be reading this week, so they're not too thick. I think maybe max 400 pages, if even that. Not that long, which I'm really happy about, so I definitely will be able to do it. I am starting this vlog on a Wednesday, so it is a week-long vlog. I don't know which one I want to read first. I'm kind of in the mood to read Better Than the Movies, just because I'm a movie girl and this book has just been screaming for me to read it. This is actually my most recent book on my physical TBR, and I have all these other books, but of course I want to read this one first, so I think we're going to start off with this. So before we start, if you're new to this channel, welcome, as I usually say. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy this video, and obviously follow my socials down below. Comment if you guys make it to the end of the video, what did you guys enjoy the most. I don't know if I'm going to do like a final review like all at the end when I give you guys my ratings, or I give you ratings as I read them. I don't know yet. I thought this would be a fun way of like getting my followers involved, so if you want to get involved with future videos, I do a lot of videos where I use Instagram or TikTok and that. I definitely recommend following those socials down below so you can take part. But yeah, that is it for now. We're going to start reading, and up first is Better Than the Movies.
Thought the praying would make it better, but I swear to God I'm just as lost as ever. Thought the bottle would hold me over, it still hurt me just as bad when I got sober. Everyone around me's found a way to let it go, but I can't help but focus on the things I can't control. All the darkness in my mind, pain that I can't leave behind. I know there's a silver line that I can't see. All the cold and sleepless nights, running out of ways to fight. I know there's a morning light in my reach if I keep buying time. I stopped going out to bars, I quit smoking. Thought that giving that all up would keep me going. I got over people pleasing, I quit falling into love that had no meaning. I could search forever for a peace I'll never know, but I can't help but focus on the things I can't control. All the darkness in my mind, pain that I can't leave behind. I know there's a silver line that I can't see. All the cold and sleepless nights, running out of ways to fight. I know there's a morning light in my reach if I keep eyeing through. There's a storm inside my dreams. I'm still standing on 2 feet.
Hi guys, so it's the next day actually. I'm sorry I haven't given you guys an update, and right now I'm on chapter 11, page 237. So I've gotten a lot of way through this book. Yesterday I was trying to do a little catch up with you guys, but it was just way too dark, so the footage wasn't very good. So I thought I would come today and speak to you guys properly about how I'm feeling about this book. So far so good. I'm actually really enjoying it. Wes and Liz, I love their friendship. I love the film song aspect of it. What I really love about this book, I've currently been listening to the playlist, and the playlist really goes well with the book. And what I really love is that the book directly referenced the playlist. I don't usually see that often. There's usually just like a playlist for the book, but it doesn't really reference it. And this book reminds me a lot of Hook, Line and Sinker, where we had Hannah, and obviously she really likes music and that, and she would like have a song for like different things for different people and that. And this is very similar with Liz. Like, she loves movies, she also loves songs, so like in the book she'll be like, oh, this song would go really well with this moment, or I wish this song was playing. And what I would do is I would put that song on, and it made me feel like I was part of that scene, kind of like living it through Liz, which really connected me to the character. And so far I feel really connected to Liz. Like, I love her story. I love like the relationship, as I've said, between her and Wes. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think I'm going to be able to finish it by the end of this evening. Obviously this is the second day of reading, so I'm really enjoying it so far. I've literally just been reading. I read a lot yesterday. I've only read about 30 pages today, but so far so good. I love the movie aspect of it. I love the quotes at the beginning of each chapter. So interesting. This has such a good storyline, and what I love about this book as well, like, it's not a spicy book. It's definitely very much YA. They're both in high school, which I love. With me, I either like spicy books, I need to feel like the characters have a connection without the spice. Like, there's some books that you read that the only kind of connection or terms of attraction is physical, and I want more than that. Like, I like the physical, I like when there's spiciness, but that's after there's a genuine emotional connection's been formed. And what I love about this book is it doesn't rely on spice to help build the narrative and help you understand the attraction between the two characters. And so far I can really see it there. We haven't really seen much romantic feelings yet, but you can feel it like building, the tension between the two characters. The friendship's really good as well. This is definitely like a friends to lovers. They've known each other their whole life, but as the book progresses they become more friends, and I'm really enjoying it so far. Really loving it. I want to see though more of like this, because obviously it quotes movies and stuff like that, but I've never actually seen them actually do any movie stuff, because I thought they would have like a moment like that. But maybe we'll see it as I read the rest of it. I'm going to keep on reading, and then I'll give you guys an update once I'm finished. But so far so good, really loving it. But I wanted to give you guys a little update. Morning guys, so it's the next day and I finally finished Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. And this book right here, I think you guys can already tell by my facial expressions, but I love this book. This book from start to finish held my attention. I think the fact that I read it in like 2 days says a lot, but I couldn't stop reading it. I loved the playlist, I loved the movie references, I loved the song references. Everything was immaculate. I loved the plot from start to finish. I was hooked. Wes, Liz, all the other side characters, I was really obsessed with it. Storyline really reminded me of The Duff. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's a movie about a girl who finds out she is the Duff in her friendship group, and that basically stands for Designated Ugly Fat Friend. That's actually a book as well, actually, which I really want to get because I love the movie. And basically what she does is, to get her crush, she asks for help for her neighbour who she's actually childhood like frenemies with, to help her, and obviously along the way they fall in love, yada yada yada. And this book literally reminds me of the movie to a T, which is probably why I enjoyed it as much as I did. Towards the end I really highlighted a lot, like let me find the one that I loved so much. There was a section and I was just obsessed with it. Let me find it. One of the quotes that I really enjoyed was this one. Sometimes we get so tied up in our idea of what we think we want, but we miss out on the amazingness of what we could actually have. So like with Wes, yes, she was dreaming about another guy, Andrew, the guy she wanted him to help her get, but actually the person that you're meant to be is sometimes right in front of you, the person that you least expect it to. And I just love the little comments, the little bit back and forth, like even the stuff that, and when I see her I don't feel like I have to talk to her or mess up her hair or do something, anything to get her to swing that gaze on me. I fell in love with teasing you in the 2nd grade when I first discovered that I could turn your cheeks pink with just a word. Then I fell in love with you. I knew he liked her from the start, like it was so obvious, and I just loved the plot, the teen angst kind of YA feeling. This book is definitely a YA non-spice romance, which I really enjoy. I find it so refreshing reading books without spice because it has to rely on the plot to make it work, and it also needs to rely on the emotional connection of the characters. Like some books rely on the smut too much, which means like the only connection you actually think between the two characters is a sexual attraction, whereas these two like each other on a deeper level, like the little backs and forth, the little like jealousy. I just loved all of it, so I really enjoyed this book. If you guys can't guess already, I decided to give this book a 5 stars. The only problem I did have with this book is that it wasn't dual perspective. This book only follows Liz's point of view, but I actually just found out there's actually a 2nd book coming out later this year, which is a sequel to this book, and I think it's actually supposed to be in Wes's perspective, or at least dual perspective, which I'm really looking forward to. I think the only reason why the book let me down is because of that. I did like hearing about Liz though, like she is the main character, and I did like her plot line, kind of like hearing her and her point of view, so it didn't actually bother me because she was actually a really likable character. But what I do love is like the dual perspective, because if you don't like one character, like you have 2 perspectives, whereas like if it's one perspective, sometimes I don't like the character, and seeing it in just their perspective doesn't make the story like as full in my eyes. But I just enjoyed this book so much. A great start to this video. Thank you for everyone that voted for this. I was low-key gonna pick it anyway because I literally, as soon as I read Love Wager, I wanted to read more of her books. I have a whole list of all the other books I want to read from her. Her writing down to the scenery, like love this page, like look at the photo, Dirty Dancing, I'm obsessed. And then the playlist as well, which I actually listened to on Spotify, which was so good. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Definitely recommend reading it if you haven't. And yeah, on to the next book. Obviously we have 2 more books to choose from. Ballad of Never After is the 2nd book in a series. The first book is Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I read short of last year, so I am actually leaning towards this one just because it is part of a series and I wanted to continue the series, and I kind of need to refresh my mind as well. So I think this one will leave to last because it's a standalone, so it's not like it leans on other books to make sense. So I think I'm just gonna go over like a recap for the first book because I actually completely forgot how it ends. I know this book follows obviously them again and like another journey. I think something happens in the first book, but I actually can't remember because I read it last year. I feel like if I'm not obsessed with it, I forget. Like that book, I think I gave a 4 stars, 4.5. It was really, really good, but I didn't get the 5-star feeling. I don't think it was going to be a book that I would remember forever, ever, ever, ever. I just remember like the fairy tale feeling it gave me. So I think we're going to read this one next. It is a fantasy / romance as a subplot. It follows 2 characters, Evangeline and Jax. I know the whole premise of it is Evangeline finds out that her crush, or the guy that she's been sleeping with, is getting married to her stepsister, I believe, or sister. So she goes and finds the Prince of Hearts so he can help her stop the wedding, but instead they strike a deal that if he helps her, she owes him 3 kisses at any given time. I don't think they're actually for him, but like other people. Obviously he doesn't do that. He does all these other things. They enter a world of like magic, adventure, mystery, and I just really, really enjoyed it. I just loved it from the start to finish. So I'm really excited to get into this book. So that is the book we're going to begin in next. So let's begin The Ballad of Never After.
Gemini, born under a spring moon sky. Couldn't change her if you tried. She's got roses on her mind. Watch them grow wherever she wants to go. Never picking up her phone. She adores being alone. Whoa, and they say Juliet, when is she coming around? She ever settling down? They don't know Juliet. She never wants to be found. Too young for settling down. She's running with wind in her hair. Can't try to keep her back there, day and night. Chasing like she's a hurricane without warning. This in the storm as it's pouring, day and night. Chasing all the many lives of Juliet. Starstruck eyes, she's a rebel in disguise. Couldn't see it if you tried. It's so neatly wrapped inside. She's just like her mother's mother. A hit strong, hit first stab. Her daughter floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. She's tame as a river and wild as a sea. Oh, running with wind in her hair. Can't try to keep her back there, day and night. Chasing like she's a hurricane without warning. This in the storm as it's pouring.
So guys, it is actually a couple of days later, and obviously I started The Ballad of Never After about 2 days ago, and currently I'm on chapter 37, page 305. So we've got just under 100 pages left of the book. I haven't given you guys an update just because I've been so busy, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been enjoying this book so much. Like, I've literally completely forgotten to film anything. I've done like little snippets, like I tried to film some today of me reading, but I haven't really gotten a lot of footage for this book just because I've been enjoying it so much. I haven't even been thinking about recording. I can't believe we have 100 pages left. I feel like this book has just gone so quickly. It's so fast paced to read. I've started reading about 1:30, so it's been about 2 hours of reading, and I've read about 200 pages, so I'm really enjoying it. I didn't do much reading yesterday. I think I did maybe like 30 pages, and then I did some on obviously the first day of reading, but I'm really enjoying it today. I'm hoping to finish it within the next hour, just because it's taken me about an hour to just do maybe 100 pages, and because I have about 90 something pages, I should finish it by maybe 4:30. It's currently 3:30 right now, and then I've also brought down Book Lovers, which is obviously the next book we're going to be reading, so hopefully I can get into some of that before 5 o'clock. And then I need to do a couple of things because obviously it is Sunday, it's my reset day, and then I want to come back and finish some more of this, but I don't think I'm going to finish it today. Today is Sunday, so I'm going to probably continue this vlog for another day, just so I can finish this book, give you guys a reaction. But I just love this book. I wanted more of Jax, so basically it features Jax and Evangeline. Evangeline's always believed in like happy ever after, true love, and I think I explained most of it when I was first talking about this book, but this book really delves more into like the mystery aspect, and like I just loved the development of that. Like it feels very story-like, as I've said before, it's very fairy tale-like. This is definitely a YA fantasy, but I do feel the tension between the 2 main characters. And Jax, I love his witty sarcasm. Like he's definitely that morally grey character who has those protective tendencies. I just love, anytime he appears, I'm just obsessed with him. Like, he's just so magical, and he's just so, like, anytime he does anything, I'm just like, go king, go king. Like, I'm obsessed with him. And seeing him and Evangeline, like, low-key, their attraction towards each other as well is there. And his need to protect her, even though he's saying he's doing it only because of selfish reasons, I actually know that he's doing it because he truly cares. And that's what I love. I just love seeing that, and the development from the first book to this book. I can definitely see it. I'm definitely enjoying it, and I can't wait to continue finishing it. Obviously, we only have about 100 pages left, and from what I've read, like the last 100 pages, something happens, or quite a lot happens, because the next book is A Curse for True Love. So I'm really excited to get into the next book, even more so after reading this. And it's refreshing reading fantasy as well. I haven't read fantasy in a while. What was the last fantasy book I read? The last fantasy book I read was A Court of Silver Flames, which I think I read in January, maybe February. So it's been maybe about 2 months since I've read any fantasy. So I'm really excited to get back into it. I just love the world building that fantasy has. It just feels so magical, and it's so fast paced. The series is so fast paced. It's so easy to understand. But yeah, so good. Also got my nails done, which is irrelevant for this video. But if you guys are wondering why my nails look different, got them done yesterday and I feel so good. So yeah, enjoying it so far. Let's get back to reading. That ending, that's all I'm gonna say. That ending rocked me. Hey guys, it is actually Monday now, but yesterday I finished The Ballad of Never After, and this book, I don't even know what to say. Earlier on I spoke about the fairy tale feel, all these different stuff. Since I've spoken to you guys, I had about 100 pages left, and so much happened in those last 100 pages that just like blew my mind. And the way the story ended, you could tell by my reaction, I was shocked to say the least, and I can't wait to read the third book. I'm so happy I have it on my shelf because I am so ready to read it. This book, the magical feels, the mystery, like the plot is so solid. It's so easy to follow. I didn't feel like I was lost at any point, which I really, really enjoyed. And I also really got attached to Evangeline and Jax and all the little side characters, like the little dragon there was, like it was just so cute. But the last 100 pages, I'm not gonna lie, destroyed me. And the reason why I'm giving this book the rating I'm giving it is because, mainly because of the end. I feel like as I was reading this book, I kept thinking it was a 4 stars. I didn't really get the 5-star feeling, but I was really enjoying it. I found it really good, and I definitely would recommend it if you liked fantasy. So originally I was going to give it 4 stars, but the ending alone, the last 100 pages, or at least the last 50 pages, I was mind blown. I was so attached. I couldn't stop reading. So I decided to give The Ballad of Never After a 4.5 just because the story made me feel everything. I just felt like I was in another realm. It definitely felt like a movie. I felt like a child again. The mystery, the kind of like the back and forth between the two characters, would definitely recommend, definitely Garba. The way she writes fantasies is so different to what I've ever actually read. Like I love Akata, I love like the world building, kind of like the harsh fighting sequences, that type of stuff. But this, I just love the magical feels. Like I feel like a child again. It's very like fairy tale like. So I definitely really enjoyed it. So far so good. I love like the balls, the parties. I just felt like every single fairy tale that you can imagine is like stuffed in one book, with the mystery, the plot, the characters, everything. down to a T, so I really enjoyed it. It's definitely putting me in the mood to read more fantasy. I have a whole list of fantasy books I want to read, and I haven't read fantasy in a while, so going into this I'm really excited for it, and yeah, I'm obsessed with it. Today and a bit of yesterday I started Book Lovers. I didn't start much. Yesterday I read like 2 pages, and today I haven't read that much either. I'm only on page 35, so not that way through, but I'm hoping to cause a dent this evening. It's currently like 7 o'clock right now, so I have a few hours until I need to go to bed for work, so I'm just going to literally binge this book for the next like 2 hours. I'm really enjoying the main character right now. She's always had like difficulties when it came to like dating a relationship. Basically her sister's like, let's go on a trip together to this place called like Sunshine Hills or something, Sunshine Falls, and like hopefully she'll meet like a lovely lumberjack and stuff like that. But it's not all it seems. 2 years prior she meets this guy called Charlie, who's an editor, and they didn't really have like, they had like a business meeting almost, and like she said like she didn't like him and stuff like that, but obviously they're gonna have to meet again. And yeah, it just says here, one summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. With Emily Henry, I know she doesn't simply just do romance books. There's always going to be a plot twist, things that happens in the book where you're just like mind boggled. So I am really excited to read this book. Hopefully I can get at least maybe halfway. Let me see how I can do. There's not really loads and loads of words on the pages, which is really good. I just haven't had time to probably sit down and read anything. So that is my plans for this evening, just to get cozy in my bed or on my couch and just like binge this book. And then tomorrow I'm going to finish the rest. I am at work tomorrow, so I'm not going to have loads of time to read. But when I come back from work, I'll be back about maybe 3 o'clock, and I'll do some reading then, and then I'll give you guys my review about the book. But so far I'm actually really enjoying it. It's quite refreshing. I feel like each of these stories are very different, which I really love as well. I feel like I'm definitely getting a mixture of different books. Even though this and Better Than Movies are both romance, I feel like I'm getting something different from them. Of course I've only just started this, so I don't know really what my feelings are, but I just love Emily Henry's writing, so I'm really excited to continue reading this book. So sit back, relax, grab some snacks, and come along with me whilst I continue reading Book Lovers. So guys, I have officially reached about halfway through Book Lovers. I'm on chapter 15, page 165. I think there's about 370 pages, so I've got about 200 pages left of this book, and I'm actually enjoying this book, but I'm not feeling anything special about the characters. I think it's a nice easy read. Like, there's nothing too hard to understand. I love the coziness of it. I feel like it's just really cozy. The vibes is very like small town kind of feel. I love the interactions between Laura and Charlie, who are the main characters. But there's nothing special at the moment that I'm getting from this book. So far in my head, I have about 3 stars, 3.5 stars. But that can obviously all change when I finish the book. I don't know yet. But compared to the others, I'm not excited to read it. Like, it's not a bad book. I'm finding it good but not great, so I am struggling to get through the book. It's taken me quite a while just to read how much I read. I think I started it yesterday morning, or might have actually started this book on Sunday, but I'm still trying to make my way through it just because it's so easy to read, but at the same time, because I'm not fully invested in the storyline or the characters, I'm finding it really hard to push through. Like, I'm kind of like counting down the pages until I finish, which for me is a sign that I'm not necessarily loving the book. Doesn't mean I hate it, it just means that I'm not loving it, that I just don't want to put it down. With the other two books, like, I didn't want to put it down, but with this one I'm not struggling to read it. It's just that I'm kind of like, when's it ending? So we've got 200 pages left. I'm hoping to just knuckle down for the next hour and a half, 2 hours, and just sit and read. I just came home from work and I had a few hours to kill. I think right now it's about 4 o'clock, so I'm gonna do some reading. So I'm gonna do some more reading from now until about 6 o'clock, and then I'm gonna give you guys hopefully a final review once I finish. But so far I'm enjoying it, but I definitely don't think it's my favourite by Emily Henry, and I just don't have that feeling that I did when I was reading Happy Place and compared to the other books. But I'm gonna carry on reading for now, but I wanted to give you guys a little update. So let's continue reading, book lovers. Right guys, final review time. I just finished Book Lovers around an hour ago and I thought I'd speak to you guys. So this book definitely improved the last 150 pages, 100 pages, and I'm obsessed with the ending just alone, and that is why it's going to get the rating it is. But before I go into my rating, I want to talk about the story, how it made me feel. So as you guys might have seen, if I even include the footage, I was getting very emotional towards the end. I just loved the characters in this book, especially the main protagonist, the male, Charlie. I just loved his aura, his personality, the way he uplifts Nora and stuff like that. What I also love about this book, it's about romance, it involves romance, but the main subplot, I feel like, is definitely about family dynamics, especially sister relationships, like older sister, younger sister. And I definitely felt the main character, she always felt the need to fix things and do stuff for other people because she was the oldest, or because certain things happened in her life and her sister's life, and actually she was forced to actually put herself first basically and actually come to the realization life is uncertain. Sometimes you don't always have a plan for life, and yeah, you just don't know. I just loved the quotes. Basically highlighted so many quotes out of all the books that we read in this vlog. I like highlighted a lot from this book. If you guys can see, it's definitely realistic. I definitely felt like I was reading about characters that actually exist, and the way the characters talk about books and stuff like that, kind of using books as like a metaphor kind of for life. It talks a lot about tropes in that, and as a reader you might read a certain book because of certain tropes that might not be happening in your life. So something like enemies to lovers and that, it's easy to like enjoy those types of tropes if you're not part of it, and how books can actually reflect a large part of life but also create unrealistic expectations on life. And yeah, and also like obviously books have meaningful messages, so I really liked that. But I do definitely think the book title is a bit I definitely think this book title is a bit deceiving because it's about book lovers, and I do definitely think they both enjoy books, but I was expecting something more centered in terms of them talking more about why they enjoy books and stuff like that. I feel like it uses books more as like a metaphor for life and certain things like they're going through, like for example like turning the page. Sometimes certain stories you don't know what's going to happen, and at each page like might lead to something different, and like it's about taking the steps. Some people actually don't turn the next page in their life. They don't make those changes because they're afraid of like how much their life can change, which is what I really loved about this book. At times I did find it very boring. I just felt like I wasn't as attached to the characters as much. Like the first 200 pages, it definitely improved as we got a little bit more, but I was hoping that it would kind of develop more and show through at the start of the book rather than like the last 150 pages, if that makes sense. So in terms of my rating, I decided to give this book a 4 stars, just because, one, because I didn't get the 5-star feeling, and 2, because of how long it took me to get into the book. Also with Emily Henry, the way she writes, a lot of these books, they're there to be enjoyed, but actually they're there to kind of send messages about life. I feel like they're very similar to non-fiction books where it might like be self-help and stuff like that, and actually you can find very valuable messages in fiction books. And what I really loved, it was just so easy to read. I know I got a little bit stuck at the beginning and I was struggling to get through it, but it's not because of what was being said, it's just I couldn't really connect as much for the characters. As the story progressed, I definitely understand why people love this book, but I decided to give it a 4 stars. I was in between like a 3.5/4 stars, so that is why I decided to stay with 4 stars. I was kind of thinking of doing 3.75, but I decided to just give it 4 stars because I would actually recommend this book to people, especially as if you like books that feel realistic. I know, like example, I Love Never After, like they have messages that you might relate to, but they still feel very movie-like, kind of not as realistic. Same with like Better Than the Movie. Whereas this book, definitely I felt the realism of it. That's what I really love about Emily Henry's writing. So I really enjoyed the book and I'm happy that we read this. But those were all the books that we read in this vlog. Obviously, first we read Better Than the Movies. Next we obviously read The Ballad of Never After, and then Book Lovers. So really enjoyed reading these books. I feel like we definitely had a mix of books, which I'm really happy about. I feel like we had different plot lines, different focuses. I feel like definitely in these two, it definitely talks about grief a lot, which I really did enjoy. I feel like that is a very important part of life. But yeah, this book definitely put me in my feels reading Book Lovers, so I'm definitely hoping to get into a book that's a little bit more calm down, might even find like a fluffy little cute romance to read. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me read these books and my reactions and my reviews. Do you agree with my ratings with these books, or do you have a totally different rating? If you haven't read any of these books, would you give any of them a go? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, if you did and you want to see more of my content, make sure you give it a like and a subscribe. Press the little notification to see when I post. But yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys are all well. How are you guys doing? How's your week going? How's your day going? What are you up to? How many books have you read so far this month? And yeah, stay blessed, and as I always say, I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Everything goes white. I can feel the breeze. Euphoric delight.